Welcome back to Silent Sales Machine Radio. We are your co-hosts. I'm Brian.
And I'm Robin Joy.
And this is Coach's Corner.
Hey, everybody. Brian.
Yes.
Hello. You had a question. You had a question this week from the Facebook group that you wanted to share today.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Well, so it didn't actually come directly to me. It was a general post in the Facebook group.
Okay.
And this person was asking a question that I'm sure to them seemed like pretty straightforward. Like, can somebody tell me all the pieces and parts of Keepa?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And one of our moderators on the leadership team, Merrick, replied and said, probably not.
Well, Keepa's pretty complicated, and we use it in a way that it wasn't actually created by the developers of Keepa to be used, although I think they know we use it that way now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's really kind of a lot to that, to the point that we collaborated together, mostly you, created a whole course called Keepa 360 to talk about pieces and parts, and a fairly comprehensive course.
You know, just for a second, I'm going to go off script. And I know we were talking about this just before we hit the record button, but it just, the way you were talking about it brought up a thought for me just now. Which is the courses that were in the Proven Amazon course that we had created around Keepa were advanced sourcing strategies.
Right.
And I think that
the original ones.
The original ones, yeah. And I think that when people get into the Proven Amazon course and they start, think, okay, I got to go learn Keepa, and they jump right into advanced sourcing using Keepa, probably so much of that was over many people's heads.
Oh, sure.
And they're trying to follow along. But what I really like about what we did with Keepa 360 was start at the beginning.
Yes.
Right. And this is where you covered.
Yeah, I did a basic level of what's Keepa, what do we use it for, what are the pieces, parts telling us, an overview, kind of almost a survey kind of course. And then we also put in some more advanced things there. So now that's in PAC right now.
It's in the Proven Amazon course, yeah. So there's like a beginner module and a track, an intermediate track, and an advanced track. And
in that course.
And the advanced track has the two concepts that were covered in the previous Keepa courses, advanced sourcing using Keepa and Keepa 2.0, which was 9 more ways to do advanced sourcing using Keepa, right?
All that's in the new 360 course.
All of that is in the new Keepa 360 course. And, there's a ton of content there. I don't know. I can't tell you. It's 12 hours maybe. It's a lot of content that you can go through at your own pace.
Yes. Okay.
So when this person asked the question in the Facebook group, and Merrick replied, he was like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Okay. And then the original poster tagged me, as did Merrick, and then said, hey, can you ping me on this?
Mr.
And maybe,
Keepa man.
yeah, maybe get me caught up on this.
Yeah.
And so this is going to lead into something we cover a little bit later. But what I did was I did reach out to that person directly, not to give them the answer, right? Not to give them here's everything I know about Keepa, right? It was to ask them if they were subscribers of PAC and where to find the Keepa 360 course. And then when I found out that they weren't subscribers yet, well, then I gave them access to free content. Okay. And the free content, if you are trying to figure out, trying to get your feet under you as far as Keepa is concerned, check out this podcast, episode number 612, where we talk about, where Robin covers in detail kind of the 3 main things that you really need to know. That's really all you need to know.
You really do not have to understand Keepa to get started. There are very few things. We've really boiled it down to few things that you need to know in order to test, and then you can learn more as you go. But you do not have to learn Keepa completely before you get started. And nobody in the community, as far as I know, knows Keepa completely. We've studied quite a bit of it, and others have too, but I mean, there's just a lot.
Well, there's enhancements
all the time.
I want to say almost every day, certainly every week. It seems like there's something new in there, whether it's in the product finder or some new feature in Keepa in general. And I would say to learn Keepa is more like learning how to use an index or an appendix to find the content that you need within a particular section of a book. Because it's not like, oh, if you'll learn Keepa and then you're going to learn how to sell things on Amazon. Keepa doesn't teach you any of that, right? Keepa doesn't teach you anything. Keepa is basically a huge database of data points and that's it, right? And then it's
Some of which are important to us and some of which are not.
and some of which they can put into visual format, which is awesome when they can do that, and some of it they can't.
Okay.
Right.
So before getting too deep into Keepa,
Are you trying to shush me?
I'm trying to keep it light. I would never do that.
Yes.
Not in a way that you would notice. Anyway, so the part of the point of the question that you were addressing was there is a free Facebook group, My Silent Team Facebook group, that has a lot of 80,000 members. Yeah, that a lot of whom can give you different answers for your questions. The reason that we don't love to answer questions by direct message is because if you have that question, someone else likely has the same or similar question and was either too shy or didn't even think to ask it, right? So when you ask the question in the Facebook group and we can give you answers in the Facebook group, everybody in the Facebook group, if they're interested, can glean those answers as well, as opposed to you directly asking me a question, me answering in some sort of direct message back, and then all the other people don't get benefit of our conversation.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point. It was kind of in this topic. I thought we were going to talk about it later, but it is in this very topic that we like to, all those questions that you have, ask them in the Facebook group, because then someone else, this is one of the benefits that you get by going to a workshop when we're doing a 2-day live workshop, when someone raises their hand or just shouts out a question, you get to hear the answer of a question maybe you didn't even know you had.
Yes.
Right. And so
exactly.
In the Facebook group, it's the same way.
In the same way in Kickstart, a small group of people, and if somebody asks a question, then everybody in that group gets the benefit of that discussion.
That's exactly right. There's a ton of community support and information available in the Facebook group for
much of it is free.
In the Facebook group. There's nothing they
all
charge
of it's
for
in the Facebook group is free. In the community, there's a bunch of stuff that's free and very low charge on some of it as well, which we'll get into. But the Facebook group, if you're not a member of My Silent Team Facebook group, go there, get some information, ask your questions. There are tons and tons of answers from a ton of different angles and can be so valuable.
One of the things I like the most about it is you will get many different perspectives, unless it's a very clear, like black and white answer. Like, if you're talking about
don't sell counterfeit goods.
Right. Yeah.
That's a yes or no. That's a black or white. Don't do that.
If you get any other perspectives, ignore them on that one, right?
Right.
The clear answer is no on that. But there are other perspectives on, maybe how someone looks at data points within Keepa, maybe how someone addresses their test amounts or replenishable amounts, or whatever it is. There's a lot of options there.
Sure. And there are different perspectives in experience as well.
Sure.
There are people who have been selling on Amazon for years and years. There are people who have been selling on Amazon for, a few weeks. And there are different perspectives that you can get from different people and everything in between in that group as well.
One of the things I like about it is the leadership team is actively engaged.
Yes. This is unusual for Facebook groups, I think.
It can be, yeah. Certainly I belong to a few Facebook groups where there's absolutely no moderation going on at all.
Or there's one person who's the leader who answers all the questions and there's no other perspective.
Right. That doesn't sound like a community I like to be involved in.
Well, they all have their purpose, but this one really, really encompasses so much and so many perspectives because of the way it's managed.
You'll see administrators and moderators in this group responding and directing people to the best resources, giving the best answers. And you'll also see that there's opportunity for, what I want to say, discussion about, why not, how not.
Exactly. I mean, here's one of the things that I really, really love about the Facebook group. And one of the things that I get out of it is when things are always changing. Things are always progressing. Amazon sometimes will clarify or change rules because of things that have happened. And someone feels that the first time and they get an email or some message that hasn't happened before and they share and we start talking about it. Hey, what does this mean? Is this general? And the discussion is there. We kind of figure out what we're going to, do about it. Different ideas we bat around. Like these are sometimes things that I wouldn't even know are going on unless I was in the Facebook group, and I get a head start because someone shared before I saw it, and we could have a discussion about it. I think that's one of the greatest things about the Facebook group.
This is why I'm saying, like, in the Facebook group, someone might post an image, a snapshot of like the Keep a Product Finder asking about a new button switch or dial on there that I was like, I didn't see that the last time I was in Keep It.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, that's new.
There's so many filters in the Keep a Product Finder.
And so it's a great way to keep your fingers on the pulse of not only what's going on with Amazon as a platform, but also the different strategies and things that are out there.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it.
Okay, so short answer.
Yes.
Let me just circle back to put a bow on this conversation that I was having with this person. I guess I did. I said, this Keep 360 course is in PAC, which is where we're going to go next. And then episode 612 is a great primer for...
a few things that you could know about Keepa instead of having to learn everything. Yeah.
If Keepa's been overwhelming to you, because there are literally, I don't want to say millions, but there's a lot of data points that Keepa's capturing.
Yeah.
Certainly could be overwhelming. Check out episode 612 of this podcast. Robin did a great job explaining kind of the three primary things you need to know.
All right. Well, thank you. That sounded complimentary.
Yes.
So talk to me about PAC. The next level is things that are low cost as part of this community. And the Proven Amazon course is one of those things.
Well, so just to differentiate a little bit, the differences between the Facebook group and the Proven Amazon course, you can go to the Facebook group and ask a very targeted question and get a very targeted answer.
Yes.
So, for example, someone, while it's impossible to lay out the 14 hours or whatever amount of time that was in the Keep It course in an answer on the Facebook page, what is possible to do is to answer a very targeted question. What does this particular field mean? Or is this accurate? Or
is this where you find the buy box?
Right.
Is this
Right. So you can get in there and ask, that detailed question and get a detailed answer.
Absolutely.
Usually in a matter of minutes.
Right.
But what you get in the PAC or the Proven Amazon course is the entire course. And, each course is laid out differently, but let's not forget. Oh, by the way, there's a reason that those courses are in PAC because they're not free. They come at a cost.
Right.
There's blood, sweat, tears, time, money, all kinds of things involved in creating a course. Now, we've talked before about what happens when someone makes a new course, right? You don't just get to say, hey, Jim, I got this great idea. Here's this course. I would like to offer it to the community for a price or, whatever.
It doesn't happen that way.
It just doesn't work that way, right?
No.
All those courses in the Proven Amazon course have been trialed, vetted by the person or people or group of people who were doing it, then turned loose on the leadership team.
Right. The concept has to be tested by the leadership team.
Yep.
In some way.
And proven to work as designed, right, to get the results that it advertises. Then and only then can it be considered as a course that goes into Proven Amazon course.
Right. So these courses in the Proven Amazon course are not just, oh, hey, here's an idea, and a couple of videos showing you how I do it. Like, these people have these content creators that put these ideas and courses into PAC that have been vetted. They went through some pretty good trials themselves before that ever got created. The creating of a structured course is no small feat.
Right.
There are hours and hours, and you have to make sure you know what you're talking about. Boy, we learned so much about Keepa when we made that course, right? Amazon 101, we learned a whole lot about what can be involved in setting up your Amazon account. So these things are worth and can sell and often have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars before they get into the Proven Amazon course. But for a very low fee, $39.
I said it's about the same. It's probably less than your Amazon subscription, your monthly pro Amazon subscription.
Yeah. You get all of those courses, courses that come, it's always being updated. New courses are coming in, courses are being updated, new strategies are found, new ways to do things, and courses created around them. And it's like a library of choosing. It's like It's like a library where people are writing books and publishing them and putting them in the library, except it's full courses where someone can teach you how to do something or a concept that you can use.
Yeah. I was thinking of the courses that I have come into the Proven Amazon course since I've been a part of the community.
Yeah.
A few stand out, obviously the Replens course, which we spent a lot of time talking about.
And has recently been updated, Replens 2.0.
I remember, I'm going to forget some along the way, but I remember like the bot scraping course. I remember
that was great.
The OA simplified course.
These are still in there.
Yeah, these are I remember when they came in. They're all still in PAC, right?
Yeah.
I remember when. Let's see. There was another one like the the proven discontinued course. So how to identify discontinued products. We've all seen this before. I mean, this is one of the more curious things that that we come across is I find a listing. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good, but I can't find the product anywhere because it's been discontinued. And I know those people who have that product, they're making a killing right now. They're making a pretty penny because they're the only ones who have it because they're smart enough to figure out where to go to get it.
Yeah.
They subscribe to the Proven Amazon course where you get a course like Proven Discontinued and then...
How do I... a lot of these courses are, how do I make these things that I know are happening benefit me? What do I do with them? And how do I make a profit off of them, essentially, right?
The other things about... not all the courses are this way, but a lot of them are. I'm thinking of like what is going on with Jimmy Smith and the evergreen sourcing or what was going on with that OA simplified or the bot sourcing is that there's... In some of them, there are weekly or monthly sort of meetings that the course creator is putting on to provide to sort of fill in the cracks or the gaps of what's maybe
Yeah, often there's a Facebook groups that is tied to that course where you can ask more questions. Yeah.
So there's much more. It's easier to answer those targeted questions in the Facebook group, which is free.
The My Silent Team Facebook group.
Yep, the My Silent Team Facebook group. Than it is to give the
general spiel.
The general spiel for what any of those courses are.
Right.
Like, can someone explain to me how to do bot sourcing?
So, that's going to be tough to do in the Facebook group.
Exactly.
But the concept can be talked about in the Facebook group. So, free information in the Facebook group, then for a low monthly charge, you get all of that deeper information, more targeted, more structured information that you get in the Proven Amazon course.
So all that information that is in the MST Facebook group, that's free. Like, that it just blows my mind sometimes.
I know. I've gotten so much from that Facebook group. I'm not a real Facebook kind of gal. Before I joined this community, I wasn't in Facebook much at all. But I have really, really gleaned a lot from seeing the conversations in the Facebook group and how different people's experiences are. It's so helpful, I think, in conceptually.
And Jim talks about it, about how we keep this Facebook group relevant.
Yes.
Right. And sort of moderated so that you're not getting wrong answers if anyone on the leadership team or moderation team identifies wrong answers, they're getting cleaned up really fast, right? Very quickly. And we're also don't let a lot of clowns into the group.
Yeah.
So.
True. It is moderated. And we're not just letting anybody in, a lot of spammy stuff. There's not anything like that. So it is kind of a safe place to be, too. It's a very positive environment. We try to lift people up. We try to share as much as we can. And that's kind of the culture of the whole community.
And that's in such stark contrast to the Amazon user group on the Amazon platform that can be
not really
super
a pretty place to be.
nasty and not a good place to be. This is a haven.
Yes.
Right? This community that we have here is a haven. All right. So moving on to our next topic.
Okay.
I caught myself last night saying to you, I got to get as much of that book done as I can tomorrow. And then I was like, shoot, that's not the way this works.
We just talked about that not too long ago. I mean, as much as you can, that's a great idea. But plan your work. Was it Zig Ziglar? No, it was Napoleon Hill who said, plan your work and work your plan. The plan your work part is a very important part of that. then work what you have planned, not as much as you can do. The reason we stress that is because we've seen a lot of people who have just really beaten themselves up because they did as much as they could do, but they should have been able to do more. Now, let's make a clear plan, something that can be accomplished, and accomplish it. We need to celebrate. So don't make it something that you're going to lose every time. Make it something you can win. The plan is what. So how many pages did you plan to write?
Well, thankfully, the content part is done, and now it's just creating some graphics and quotes and things like that go in there. And so I knew exactly what I wanted to get done today, and I did not get it done.
Okay.
I say today.
All right.
That's what I was working on
So you know
today.
exactly how much you lack.
So I know how much I have left to do.
Yes. So you can add that to your new plan.
Exactly. And I think we need to take a step back and like one of the things I really don't like to see is when people take this approach, I need to get as much done as I can. And they are literally burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
And then they burn out.
And then they burn out. They don't want to do it anymore. And I don't blame them.
And you don't want to break yourself in the first 3 weeks, 3 months of this business, right? Because it can go from being appealing, something you're passionate about, to something you're like, if I never see a keep a chart again in my life, it'll be too soon, right?
Yes. Now, tempering that with, in the beginning, it's front loaded with all the hardest work, the most frustrating work.
Yep.
Absolutely is. It does get easier, but you got to get past that hard work first. And there is required intense, focused effort. Absolutely, for a period of time. So temper that, plan that intense, focused effort, and don't kill yourself before you get to the end of that intense, focused effort.
So it'd be like, I like to set weekly goals, or help my coaching clients set weekly goals, right? All right, what I need you to do is find new. You need to source this week, okay?
Right.
What I need you to find new test ASINs, but I don't say as many as you can.
No,
because that seems like
pick a number.
What's the term we heard where it's like the constantly refreshes, like your Facebook feed and your Instagram is constantly refreshes, right? So you're like in this infinite loop, this infinite.
Oh yeah,
it never ends. And if you are facing something that never ends, like you just have to find as many test ASINs as you can. Well, it's pretty easy to lose motivation in that sense.
I think it makes me think of
infinity pool.
When we were exercising at some period in our lives, when we were exercising together, and we were watching. I know it was a long time ago because we were watching a DVD.
Oh no, I know where you're going with this.
And this woman was instructing us.
Jillian
is her name. She's famous. Anyway, Jillian would say in this video, and we listen to it over and over and over, and we get mad every time. She would say, 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go! You said 3.
Yeah.
So we would get angry every time that came on.
It wasn't like just a miscount. She teased you with the like 3 more, and then she was like 3, 4, 5. Okay, all right, everybody. So she really got you to do 5 more.
Yeah.
Right.
So the point is, don't try to psych yourself out. Don't try to make yourself do, 1 more at the end because you feel like you can. That's great. But the point is not that extra one. The point is the ones that you planned. Right?
Exactly. Right. So instead of saying, I need you to source this week as many new test ASINs as you can get, I say, this is probably session 2. I need you to source this week 5 new ASINs. 5 new test ASINs. That's all. We don't want to break ourselves over this. We just need to find 5 new test ASINs. And when you find them, then send them to me, and we're going to review them on your next call. Right?
Right.
So 5 new ones is like I said, it's probably the second session. In the first or second or third session, but
well, it depends on. Yeah, we just talked about how different people come in different places.
Right. I was thinking for someone who's brand new.
Yeah, I really like that. Having a clear plan as to what we're going to accomplish for the next time we talk and what we're going to do with that. That is great for coaching. That's great in making your own plan. But making a plan is a really important part of that.
So in the beginning, it's just like find 5 new tests, right? The next week, it's find 5 new tests, or the next month, whatever, 5 new tests. And
And replenish
and
all the
replenish
ones you
the
have,
ones that
and
passed your test before.
Oh, wait.
Right?
We did a series on the 7 core
yes,
competencies.
we did do a series.
And that can really help in making your plan. I know I have a lot of people who make a little checklist every week, 7 things they have to make sure they got done that week, 7 things that are in their calendar planned for that week to do.
So when it comes to your business on Amazon, instead of taking the approach, well, I need to learn everything there is about selling on Amazon, chunk it down, right? I need to learn about this part of this section of Keepa today, right? Or this week, right? I need to learn about how to handle my returns this week. I need to, and so then you're stacking after you chunk it down, and then you start stacking all this knowledge on top of each other. And then after a while, you'd be surprised at how much knowledge that you have about how to sell on Amazon.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I do. Do we have a quote today, Brian?
We do have a quote. Actually, we heard this from somebody else. I had to go look it up because we were listening. I can't remember where we were, but we were listening to a podcast, and Mel Robbins was on there, and she was saying, she said, every setback is a setup for a comeback.
And who actually said that? She was quoting someone else.
She was quoting somebody else, and this person is T.D. Jakes.
T.D. Jakes.
Every setup. Every setback.
Oh, every setback
is a setup for a comeback.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Almost, you could almost look at that like a slingshot. Setback, pull forward.
I was thinking of the quote we had last time or on a previous episode of where, some battles are won at the finish line, others are won through wisdom gained, right? And so if it's the wisdom gained situation as opposed to the finish line, then that could be considered a setback, except look at the experience and the knowledge that you got. Now you are set up for the next time you face that situation bang, right?
So
for a comeback.
So what do you do when you feel like you've had a setback and you get ready for a comeback? What do you do to make that comeback happen?
Test more ASINs.
Test more ASINs. Let's go test more ASINs.
All right. Good to see you, everyone.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. Before I let you go, though, let's spend a couple minutes with my good friend, Jeff Schick. He jumps on here once a week or so with some great Amazon policy and legal insights to help us stay on the straight and narrow with our business. Jeff, what do you got for us today, man?
So one of the big questions we've been having from sellers is whether they're big enough to sign up for our legal retainer. And so I wanted to just have a frank discussion about it, because sometimes sellers will come to us and they'll say, well, I really feel like I need your help, but I don't think that my business is big enough to afford it yet. And then they say, so what's the size that we should be when we should sign up for you? And the answer is, what's the size? It really comes down to is, if you're running a real business or if you're running a hobby. Like if you're running a hobby, then the answer is probably, it could be never, right? Because you don't really care about it. But if you're trying to build a real business, the things that we work with our clients on, forming LLCs, helping them with, trademarks, helping them with the, protecting against suspensions, interpreting policy, helping them understand what Amazon's expectations are. Those are all things that we help sellers of all sizes with, that arguably could be more important for sellers that are just starting up, or just as important for sellers starting up as they are for large established sellers, because those are all the building block, fundamentals of starting a successful e-commerce business.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is, it's not a matter of can I afford these things, and it's just a few dollars a day. It's not a matter of can I afford this or not. It's more almost like, can I afford not to if I'm getting a real business?
Right.
Yeah, you're not too small if you're serious about your business.
Exactly. And so that's to say, we work with sellers of all sizes. I have one seller that's been a client of mine for 2 years now. He's not sold a single product yet because he's just been stuck in the analysis paralysis. But he schedules calls with us, with our team, to ask questions. Hey, I'm thinking about buying this product. Should I buy it? And wants to just know, whether it complies with policy and whatnot. We actually saved him because he had unfortunately been subjected to an ad for a done-for-you automation company.
Yeah.
And so he was literally one or two clicks away from electronically signing the agreement because he had gone through the sales process and thought it sounded so good. And so, we work with sellers that are truly, beginners starting at zero. We've also got sellers that, are an Amazon, top 100 seller list. So we really have worked with sellers of all sizes across a variety of issues. And so there's really no one's too big or too small for getting proper help.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know our team uses you guys a lot. We run everything from little scenarios to big decisions past you. And you've certainly steered us clear of some big mistakes and educated us on some things we were doing that we shouldn't have been. Yeah, it's very much worth a few dollars a day to get Jeff and his team on your side, no matter what size you are. Go to jeffschick.com, SCHICK, and sign up for their retainer service. You guys cover so many different services for a few dollars a day. And I appreciate you, man. You're doing a great job for us. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thanks for trusting us.
Hey, well, let's do this again next week. What do you say?
Sounds good.
All right, man. Good to see you. Bye for now.